in the time that remains, it would be good to turn our spectacles, none of us are wearing them, turn our view towards 2024 and what we think is ahead or lies ahead for the year that we're looking at now. Similar trends, hardening, softening, jumping about all over the place. What do you see as the main topics that are going to come out over the next few months?
I think you'll see a stabilization still. I think sort of like a market-wide high level, I don't think you'll see rates dropping yet, but I also I think we've sort of pulled the Band-Aid off in 2023 where you're not going to see any sort of massive spikes, albeit from those maybe who had really bad loss-affected layers still. If you had, if you're suffering from Turkish losses or you had a bunch of war exposure, like those programs will still be very, very difficult. But I think you'll see that, and I still also think that as reinsurers are sort of meeting their cost of capital for the first time in a while, I suspect you'll continue to see them continue to lean into that, trying to avoid layers that could erode or damage that performance, and doubling down on parts of programs and layers and spots in the market that they feel can continue to benefit them there. In this sort of short term, whether that then balances out in another year or two's time, we'll see. But I think that's what we'll see in the short term from my perspective on it.
Yeah, I agree broadly. I think the US casualty story still has some legs to run on it, and we'll see that, in quarterly results across the first half of the year, and that will have an impact. But otherwise, things, you can see where the trends are, and it would take a huge surprise to change those at the moment.
As we do go into 2024, I do expect that we'll see more and more class-specific and region-specific adjustments being made against a more stable backdrop, I guess, as reinsurers decide what they want their portfolios to look like, and cedents decide how willing they are to continue writing portfolios that might not give them the rate they require.
Yeah. Well, and as much as our podcast is the absolute source of truth for all of these things, to Ben's point, the Howden renewal report dives into macroeconomic trends and inflationary pressures and tons of stuff. If you want to read a 71-page report and print it off and waste all of your printer's ink, it's actually an excellent read into all of those. Valued deployment of my printer's ink. But it dives into all of those nuances across all those various elements there. So really, really thorough, excellent work by Flandro. That will be in the show notes. We'll also put the Gallagher one in the show notes as well, so people can access those very conveniently from our sites.